Hello everyone, this is a presentation of the final project of SSW533. The name of our project is Explore the Relationship Between Readability and Success. Our team members are Shihao Miao, Qi Zhao, and Bo Yang Guo. We are responsible for doing project plan, collecting and analyzing data, coordinating group work, and creating presentation slides. In this project, we are going to perform data collection and analysis on some open source projects to measure the readability and the success of a project. According to the data, we will study the relationship between readability and success. The background of our project is that we often want to know which characteristic a successful project will have. It requires us to find a factor to measure the success of the project. In our project, we choose the readability of the code as a factor for measuring the success of the project.
We used multiple levels of metrics to measure the readability and success of a project. As for the readability, we believe it is highly related to the code style, understandability, and complexity. So we used a PyLint score, Halstead metrics, LOC, CCs, and rate of comments to measure the readability. And as for the degree of success, although it is hard to perfectly measure the success of a project, we decide to measure the problem and the popularity of a project. So to a certain extent, they reflect the success of a project. Here are some tools that we use to collect the data. Intelligence metrics reloaded radon are used to analyze the complexity from the source code. We use GitHub APIs to collect the forks, commits, and stars. Finally, we used Microsoft Excel to do the statics.
During the analysis, we choose 4 projects to support our conclusions, and the next part will be introduced by my teammate.
The first project we use is called Flask, an open-source web framework written by Python.
Another project we select is the Mall. It is a Java project we found on GitHub. The third project we select is Redison. It is also a Java project. This is a relatively large project.
The last project we use is called Django. Django is similar to Flask, but is a larger one. And here's the data we have collected from those 4 projects we just mentioned. We use our own metrics called readability score to analyze how readable each project is. We assume that the more complex the code is, the lower readability the code will have. Then we use Flask as a baseline to generate a relative score. As you can see, the Mall has the highest readability score and the Django has the lowest one. And here's some data we collect for how successful the project is, like by counting project stars in their GitHub repository. And we can analyze this data with our own metrics called successfulness scores. And here's the result. We can see that the Flask has the highest score and the Redison has the lowest one. We can create a scatter plot and draw a trend line for successfulness and readability. We can see that there's some correlation between successfulness of the project and the readability of the code writing in the project. So in other words, the more readable the code is, the more successful the project will be. And thanks for listening. That's all.